Hello everybody, this is Oski, and this week on the good and bad of Fortnite, which, is not actually a thing on my channel, but I might make it one. We're going to be talking about a couple different things. It's kind of just going to be a news video and my thoughts on that news. And yeah, so I just kind of want to talk to you guys. First, we're going to be talking about the big news for today. Fortnite revealed the map for next season, which is a Star Wars season, Galactic Battle, I think it's called. And the map is very interesting, so let's talk about that. So this is going to be the bad part of the video, unfortunately. But yeah, the map does not look great in my opinion. The reason it doesn't look great is, I don't know, it's just a little disappointing. And I know it's premature. We haven't played on this map, so it's not really fair to judge it very harshly. But from what we're seeing, it's a little lackluster, at least in my opinion. And maybe the Death Star, will do something in mid-season, like shoot a certain POI, blow it up, and then it gets replaced with a Star Wars-themed POI. But right now, what we're looking at is 4 new POIs, which I think the amount of new POIs is fine. But they're all on the corners of the map. And so, that's the problem right there. The interior of the map, where 99% of your encounters, your gameplay, your memories are going to be, is unchanged. Okay, like when's the last time you saw a final zone end at one of the corners of the map? Usually never. Okay, and it's because that's the least amount of space on the map. The feel of the season is really not going to be very changed from this current season, Lawless, just because you're not going to be running into any of these new POIs late game, and that's like the most important part of the game, at least in my opinion. So it's a real shame they decided to do this. I don't really know why they decided to do this. Surely they have the numbers for how many people land, like the previous POIs, like Whiffy Wharf, Shogun Solitude. I don't think anything. Oh yeah, Hopeful Heights, and then Demon's Dojo. Like surely they know that nobody really landed there because, for one, you don't ever get to fight anybody there because, like I said, nobody lands there because nobody wants to deal with the storm coming in immediately and you having no time to loot. So I really want to know why they did this. Like I said, surely they have the numbers that would, suggest this wasn't a good idea. So to me, it's just really interesting. And who knows, maybe we'll get map changes throughout the season. That would be really great. I would really love to see that. And I'm not hating. I am hating, but I'm just hating without any real experience on this map. So my opinions probably will change. Also, in my opinion, the POIs are disappointing just in their own respect. I was at least expecting a bigger sand biome for Mos Eisley, which, by the way, is not even called Mos Eisley anymore, which I assumed it was going to be from the images we've seen. It's now called the Outpost Enclave. And you can see the Jawa on the map there. So I guess they're not really going for the Mos Eisley thing. They're just naming it kind of a generic thing, but having that same architecture, which I would have liked to see a little bit more sand around this area. To me, it's just not really much of a difference from what we already have. It's just one tiny sand patch. It's like a little sandbox. And then also I would have loved to see a bigger snow biome to really bring those Hoth vibes into here. I know it's actually the First Order base, not like the Rebel base on Hoth, but still bring those like snow Star Wars planet vibes instead of just keeping it a small area on the mountain. And I think that's the same, area of snow we had last season, or this current season, I should say. And then also, why are there regular Fortnite trees at the Resistance base? And I don't believe, since it's not called the Rebel base, it's called the Resistance base. It's not the Rebel base on Endor. So you know what? Here's an interesting idea. Maybe we see these locations change. Once we go through the different time periods of Star Wars, and something like the Resistance base becomes the Rebel base. First Order base becomes the Rebel base on Hoth. Outpost Enclave becomes Mos Eisley as we go back to the original trilogy. I think that's a great idea. But my issue with Resistance base right now is the trees are normal. And I was expecting to see like a Endor POI with giant looming redwood trees. I think that was a great idea. I hope they do something with that. I really hope so, because right now from what I'm seeing at least, it doesn't feel alien. It doesn't feel different, which is what Star Wars is essentially all about. Obviously, a lot of the biomes and geography the planets are on is very similar to Earth because they're filming on Earth, believe it or not. But it doesn't really feel different. Like the forest there is just going to feel like the rest of the forest around that area, in my opinion. I do like that we have the Millennium Falcon there. That's really cool, though. So yeah, I just want to see the big Endor trees, and they could even add the speeder bikes. I think that's a great idea. And overall, I just like the map changes leave a little bit to be desired so far. I am really curious what Vader Samurai Solitude is going to mean. By the way, it's a mouthful and kind of a terrible name for a POI. However, ain't nobody going to be landing there. Like, I don't know. You know what? If they have Vader's castle on top of there, that's a great idea, and that's a great map change. However, bringing that onto one of the mountains in the interior of the map, I don't know why it's all the way in the corner. Yeah, I don't know. Now, I digress, okay? We're going to be talking about the good that Fortnite's done recently. There's also still a lot of bad involved in this, though. Wave 3 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Fortnite. The first wave being the Ninja Turtle skins, actually, with April O'Neil. And the second wave being the Shredder Mini Pass. So I'm a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched the shows as a kid. I watched the movies, love the movies, love the characters. And I think Fortnite's done a great job so far with all the designs. I think these designs are a little weaker than the previous 2 waves. However, they're still great skins. And there's a lot of attention to detail here, a lot of cool things going on, and a lot of good and a lot of bad in terms of pricing. So let's talk about that. First, we're going to be talking about the Turtle Van bundle. I think this van is actually really cool, and I really want to have a whole squad of turtles jump out of this thing and just one pump somebody. I think that'd be hilarious. The decals are great. However, it's way too much money, and I don't know why they're charging these prices. In my opinion, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think any car should be more than 1,500 V-Bucks, because answer me this. What do you look at more in a game, your skin or your car? The answer is your skin, because you only drive a car occasionally. So why is the car 2,500 V-Bucks versus the skins, which are usually 1,500 V-Bucks? It's ridiculous. I think they need to lower the prices of all the cars, and I understand that this is the IP from a popular franchise, but still, it's overpriced. It's just too much money, especially I don't know. You don't really get that much out of it. But anyway, I digress. I would buy this, but it's too much money, so that's my complaint with that. All right, now let's talk about the Casey Jones bundle, and I have a couple problems with this, but overall, the Casey Jones skin looks amazing. I love his design. They did a great job. Only thing I would say is, why can't we take off his mask? I understand they probably didn't want to figure out what likeness they wanted for him and have to render that, but it's kind of lazy on their part. Also, he's 1,500 V-Bucks without a back bling, which I still hate, and they still keep doing it. So until they change that, I'm going to keep complaining about it. You need to sell back blings for the skins. They should not be sold with their pickaxe, because this is stupid. Most players go into the item shop and they buy a skin and it comes with a back bling, or at least it used to. They don't go out of their way to buy the pickaxe unless they're going to buy the whole bundle. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of people don't buy the pickaxes just because you can find something in your locker that would be good enough. What you're mainly focused on is the skin, and you used to always get the back bling with it. It was great. But now you gotta buy the pickaxe if you want the back bling, and I think it's so stupid to do it that way, and it's really scummy. The Casey Jones taunt is pretty cool. I like it. This guitar I could do without. I don't need a guitar or emote in the bundle, considering I don't really care about either of those. So I really think they need to work on their bundling and have a way for you to buy what you actually want and have a good discount, not just everything. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff for a great price, but I don't care about the other stuff. So drop those V-Bucks is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, now let's talk about the Turtle Foes bundle. Yeah, this one is very expensive. It's at 3,200 V-Bucks. I think that is just a little bit too much money for anything in this game, but it's a pretty good deal for the amount of things you get. But the problem is, which we have already touched on here, I don't want the Bebop Beats drum set. I don't want the rock steady bass, okay? These things shouldn't be included. They shouldn't be forced to be bought with the bundle, because how many people are using these? I know they can be like back blings and pickaxes now, but let's be real. The drumstick back bling and pickaxe kind of suck. And then the base is like cool, but you already have a pickaxe for him. So why would you use this one? Anyway, the back blings are sold separately, which is a little bit annoying. But it's actually good in this situation. You want to know why? Because they actually changed the prices of the skins accordingly. I don't know why they did it just for Bebop and Rocksteady and not for Casey Jones. To me, that's confusing as heck. But we do like to see that they've done this, at least for this skin right here. Bebop is a perfect example of what they're supposed to do. 1,200 V-Bucks skin, because the back bling is 300 V-Bucks and sold separately. Together, that's 1,500 V-Bucks, the average price of a collab skin, and that's perfectly done right there. Rocksteady, he also includes an emote, by the way, and he's still 1,200 V-Bucks. But his back bling is bundled with the pickaxe, which, like I said, is a shame. So it makes you have to drop 1,700 V-Bucks on both those things. But it's progress that he's not 1,500 V-Bucks by himself. And Krang's Android, he comes with a pickaxe and an emote, so it's kind of fair that he's 1,600 V-Bucks. I still would love to see the back bling included here. I'm not a fan of them selling back bling separately, because it's not been done well. But yeah, a lot of great stuff here, and I might pick it up, but I just wanted to highlight some of those problems, but also give them props for finally lowering the prices of the skins to adjust for the back blings not being included. I think that was a great choice. But yeah, you have to drop 2,000 V-Bucks on Krang and his back bling, since, it's sold separately, which I think is so ridiculous. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this TMNT collab. Let me know what you guys think about the Star Wars map. And let me know if you're excited for the new Star Wars season. Make sure to leave a like, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.